Of course, China already has experience in delivering samples from the moon. The nation's Chang'e 5 mission touched down on the moon in December 2020 and shortly after delivered the Earth the first lunar samples since the Soviet Union's Luna 24 mission back in 1976. It's undeniable that China's research is already contributing greatly to our understanding of the planet Mars. In May 2022, Beijing reported that China's rover had discovered hydrated minerals on the site of an ancient ocean called Utopia Planitia. These indications of water date back just 700 million years. It was previously believed that Mars had dried up several billion years ago, but China's study of these mineral deposits is changing that hypothesis. And just recently, on the 29th of June, China released a series of high-resolution, full-color images that visualize the entire surface of Mars as seen from the Tianwen-1 orbiter. After circling the planet over 1,300 times, the camera has documented every feature of the Martian landscape, and the photos are pretty surreal to look at. China has also done something similar for the moon, releasing a high-resolution global map of our planetary satellite. Of course, not everyone is super stoked about China's recent success with interplanetary exploration. We all know that Elon Musk and SpaceX are the front runner for establishing the first human settlement on Mars, right? Or maybe it could be NASA with their plan to extend the Artemis program from the moon outwards to Mars. But what if neither of these American entities were the first to reach Mars with a crewed mission? What if it was the People's Republic of China who planted the first flag on the red planet? Now, that might sound far-fetched to you, and in fairness, you might be correct. We mostly said it to be provocative, but the idea does hold some merit. China has very big plans for the planet Mars, and they are moving fast to carry out their mission. Much faster than NASA. We know that for sure, at least. Of course, there is still Elon Musk. If his Starship rocket works out as expected, then Elon will probably leapfrog everyone straight to becoming the first techno-king of Mars. But the future is never certain. According to the plan, China will be the first nation to return samples from the planet Mars to Earth for study. This would be an epic milestone, and then they have a blueprint to follow that up with a crewed mission as early as 2033 to begin construction on the People's Republic of Mars, or something like that. There's a lot to talk about here, and you might be surprised by just how real this is getting. This is the space race. So, the latest breaking news is that China has a new plan to return samples of dirt and rock from the planet Mars to Earth as early as the year 2031. This would be 2 years faster than NASA and ESA's own sample return mission. The target date was announced in late June during a presentation by Sun Zhuzhou, who is the chief designer of the Tianwen-1 Mars orbiter and rover mission that successfully reached Mars in February 2021. According to the presentation, China is targeting a dual launch mission with liftoff in late 2028 and a sample return to Earth in July 2031. China's mission, named Tianwen-3, will consist of two combinations, a lander and ascent vehicle, and an orbiter and return module. The combinations will launch separately on Long March 5 and Long March 3B rockets respectively, though China did indicate that if their own prospective Super Heavy rocket, the Long March 9, is in service by this point, then both payloads can travel on a single launch. Admittedly, China's effort will be more simplified than the American and European-led return mission. China will gather dirt and rock collected from one small area using a process they describe as surface sampling, drilling, and mobile intelligence sampling, potentially using a four-legged robot. So this will not be a wide-ranging or diverse sampling of what Mars has to offer. It's all going to be coming from one relatively small location wherever they choose to land the robot. The ascent vehicle will consist of two stages, using either solid or liquid propulsion, and will be required to reach a speed of 4.5 kilometers per second. After rendezvous and docking with the waiting orbiter, the spacecraft will depart Mars orbit in late October 2030 for a return to Earth in July 2031. By comparison, the NASA and ESA campaign will bring home samples collected by the American Space Agency's Perseverance rover, which has been exploring the 45-kilometer wide Jezero crater since February 2021. The project will employ a European-built Fetch rover to grab the samples and place them aboard an American-made Mars ascent vehicle called MAV. The MAV will launch the sample container into Mars orbit, where it will be snagged by a European Earth return orbiter. This sample return will be significantly larger